Okay, so this project here today is one of the old stalls that we had one of the horses in. And what we've got is more or less about 1.5 feet of old manure that's just really compacted at the floor of this stall. You can see it's kind of, in big chunks. And so we're going to do our best to get this down to the bare floor of the barn, which is just, the hard soil. And we're going to take all of this manure and we're going to put it out in the pasture where we're going to end up having gardens in the spring. So that's the plan. This manure is kind of an obstacle in getting, the barn repaired and getting this stall into a more, efficient, manageable space. So we're going to turn it into a solution, and, we're going to turn it into fertilizer, and I'm sure the chickens will enjoy scratching through it. So that brings me to my next point. Got another motivational message here. It's going to look backwards, I'm sure, in the camera, but it says solutions not only greater than, but over. Solutions over problems. Something that a good friend of mine said, and I really appreciated. So, solutions over problems. We got a couple chickens bathing over here, giving themselves a dust bath. So if you've never seen it, that's how chickens give themselves a bath. They cover themselves in dust, and that keeps the bugs and the mites from getting up into their feathers. And, it works. It's kind of funny looking, though. Going to be using pretty basic tools today. Most people have probably never seen this tool here. This is called a broad fork. It's made by a company called Meadow Creature. There's a lot of companies that make broad forks, but Meadow Creature is the brand of that one. We've got just a regular hoe here. We've got a potato fork. So it's like a small pitchfork, and then I've got a scoop shovel. So that's all we're going to be using. We've also got a wheelbarrow here we're going to use to get the stuff out into the field. So that'll be that. So we're going to turn our couple-decade-old horse manure problem into a solution as manure for the garden. So we're going to get started. I'm going to set this camera up and do my best to get a good time-lapse shot of this project, and it should be pretty cool. So we'll get started. problem solved. So I've got a little bit of work that I still need to do. I'll have to trim around the edges and, you know, get a little bit of extra out of here. The overall goal was to expose these posts. Some of them have rotted out at the bottom, and I'm going to have to work on repairing some of those. So that was the main goal there. We got that taken care of. So I guess I'll go over, I've got a couple other motivational messages here on the wall. This one here in purple, it says, grow, fix, build. I painted that there based on a conversation that I had with Joel Salatin about, you know, networking and that being the basis of communities. And maybe I'll go into that conversation a little bit more in detail in a later video. The next motivational message is pretty plain and simple. Don't die. This one here is time over money. So, you know, time is our most valuable resource. It's what, you know, can't get it back once you've spent it. So it's, you know, one of those reminders. Keep that in mind. It's time over money. Not only is time greater than money, it should be put over money. You know, you should spend your time wisely. So I'm going to go outside and we will show you all of the manure that we got out of the barn stall. All right, so I just piled it up in a long pile here, along with the other pile from the other stall whenever we cleaned out the chicken coop stall, and then there's a couple piles there. So yeah, we got quite a bit. That's awesome. So obviously that's not going to stay there. I will work on spreading that out where it needs to go, but that's going to be a really great base for some gardens this coming spring. Okay, well, if you've watched this far, thanks a lot. Thanks for hanging out. We really appreciate it here at the farm. If you were wondering, that took about an hour and a half total to clean out this stall here. I think I'll edit it into a little bit under 5 minutes, and that, you know, it'll make it great. But yeah, about an hour and a half total. Kept me warm. I had to take this jacket off early. I did want to give you guys a little bit of an insight on the future of this channel, the future of the farm. This farm has been an ongoing project for me for the past few years now. I've been working on some land clearing, some land management. You know, we had some invasive species that really took over and got out of control. So reeling that in first was quite the chore. But we've got past that for the most part. We're looking forward to really expanding our garden projects, expanding our animal systems, and tapping into the natural resources that are here on the farm. One of those major natural resources being the spring. Obviously, that's got, you know, almost an unlimited supply of water for us. It used to be a well. It was dug out as a well back in the day. Unfortunately, it has since caved in. So there's only about 1.5 to 2 foot of water in it. But hopefully we can figure out how to do that, figure out how to get past that, and we can turn that into a project where we can irrigate these lands, irrigate the gardens, have water systems for the animals, make everything work together a lot more efficiently. Do definitely plan on expanding on and off the farm. I want to do some projects off the farm. I've got some local projects here that I think would be cool to turn into some videos. So I just wanted to give you guys some insight. Like I had mentioned previously in some other videos, you know, we are a permaculture farm, so we're not shooting for getting certified organic by any means. It's not really my thing. Don't want to spend the money. We are going to keep everything natural though. So, you know, I guess that's a relative term depending on who you ask. But for the most part, I think most people understand that, you know, natural means natural. And I'm not in the business of destroying the earth. I do my best to, you know, be efficient and be sustainable. So we're going to work on sustainability here on this farm. We've got a lot of old junk that we need to clear up. So we'll turn that into some videos probably too. We definitely have some advanced tree projects that should be interesting, and you can look forward to those. So with that, like I said, if you've watched this far, certainly appreciate it. I know I've had some friends and family members encourage me to start doing this, so appreciate you all. Thank you very much. If you're new here, like the video, subscribe. We definitely appreciate your support, and we'll see you on the next one. I hope you guys like horse manure time-lapse videos, because we got another stall, and this one's got like 3 times as much compacted manure in it, so that should be fun. Rooster agrees.